everyone, Rabbitius Blog here, and I am going to do my movie review on Tim Burton's 2005 film, Corpse Bride. Now, before I get on to my feelings about this movie, I would like to give some facts about this film. For starters, this is the first film for newcomer company Leica Entertainment, and it's the third stop-motion animated movie from Tim Burton. And I say third because since Tim Burton did produce James and John Beach, I guess I'll count that next to Nightmare Before Christmas. But that's up to you to decide. And I would count Vincent, but that's a short animated film than a full-length film. Now I will give you a brief summary on this film. This film is basically about a young man named Victor, voiced by Johnny Depp, who is engaged to a shy woman named Victoria, voiced by Emily Watson, to help their families have a good financial standing in society. While doing the wedding rehearsals, Victor gets really nervous, and he ends up going through the woods to practice his wedding vows. It was then that Victor accidentally put his wedding ring on the finger of a corpse bride, who is revealed to be named Emily, voiced by Helena Bonham Carter, and now Victor is engaged to the corpse bride. Alright, now here's some things that I liked about this movie. First of all, I did like the creepy atmosphere of the film, usual Tim Burton style, as it made the film very interesting to watch. And what got me really interested in the creepy atmosphere was the fact that the living world was portrayed as a gray and dull world, while the land of the dead was portrayed as a colorful and wild place, which you would expect to be the other way around, but not in this film. Also love the plot of the story. I mean, what other film would you see a living suitor accidentally being engaged to a dead person? I thought that the plot was really creative and inventive, and it made the film even more interesting to sit through, as I wondered to myself, what's going to happen to Victor once he's engaged to the corpse bride? Will he be killed, or will he stay alive? It's questions like that about the film that make this film all the more reason to love it. The stop motion animation was awesome, and it literally captured the spookiness and the humor of the film all in one barrel. And there were many scenes in this film that were so hilarious to watch that I couldn't stop laughing. I also loved the characters as they were all hilarious and extraordinary at the same time. And I really liked Victor, even though he was shown to be what's a better word to say this? A weakling. I liked how Victor was so friendly towards everyone he meets, and his usual clumsiness really makes me want to adore him even more. And to add to that, he is voiced by Johnny Depp. I mean, who doesn't love Johnny Depp? My favorite character would have to be Emily, who is voiced by Helena Bonham Carter, because she is truly an amazing character. I mean, she's a living dead person, but she tries to live life to the fullest. Now here are some things that I didn't like about this film. For one thing, there seems to be a lack of character development in this film, as we really don't know much about the characters other than Emily and Victor. For example, we don't know much about Victor's other bride, Victoria. We just know that her family is broke, she's a really nice person, and she loves Victor. That's it. That's all we really know about Victoria. And it just seems like she doesn't really bring anything to the story, other than her love for Victor, and probably serves as a slight conflict between Emily and Victor's engagement. Also, the villain of the story, Lord Barkis, rarely has any character development himself, and it seemed like he was just thrown into the movie just for the sake of having a villain in the movie. Also, the songs in this movie were not that memorable as The Night Before Christmas, and they all felt so flat and emotionless that I just couldn't get into the songs as much as I tried. Corpse Bride is rated PG for some scary images and action and brief modern language, which the rating is right on the dot about each of these reasons. But this movie's not too scary, maybe a few jump scenes, but nothing that would make kids have nightmares for the rest of their lives. Overall, I give Corpse Bride an 8 out of 10 because I love the creepy atmosphere of the movie, and I felt that this should have been more character development and better songs in this movie to get a perfect 10. But wait, there's more. Usually I end the review right after I have gave my final verdict on the film, but I am starting a new section called Spoilers. Now, I am not going to do this all the time, just for certain films that have scenes that I wish to give my thoughtful opinions about. So, if you haven't seen this movie yet, and you don't want any spoilers, you can stop watching this video right here. But if you have already seen this film and you just want to know my thoughts on these scenes, then keep watching. I was a bit disappointed at the end of the movie, as Victor eventually ends up with Victoria. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have any problems with Victoria, but given the fact on how much I don't know much about her, and the fact that this film spent almost 90% of the time focusing on Victor and Emily, I think Victor should have ended up with Emily. Now, I sort of know why Victor can't end up with Emily, because Emily's dead and Victor's still alive. So there's no way that they could end up together if one's dead and the other one's living. However, there was this little scene near the end of the movie where Victor and Emily were about to get married and the dead somehow came up in the world of living. So in that case, Victor should have no problem being with Emily if they can coexist in the living world together. But then that leaves the whole situation where the rules state that they have to stay married until death do them part. But like I was saying about the whole Emily and Victor could possibly coexist with each other in the living world, the death do them part rule would probably not apply to this fact. Well, this is my movie review on Course Bride. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.